Joining us tonight from Abeokuta in Ogun State is Tobiloba Akinsanmi, a sports journalist who's been covering the games as well. Tobiloba, thank you so much for coming through tonight on Game On. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. And believe it or not, it's actually the first time that you and I have actually shared the same platform. So this is momentous. So Tobiloba, let's start with the situation of the table so far. Are you surprised to see Delta State establish an early lead? I beg your pardon, Bayelsa State.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. It's a beautiful time as well to be back here with you on the show tonight. So very quickly, for me, I feel I'm not surprised. I think Bayelsa State, they've been there back to back, in the last couple of years when it comes to the National Sports Festival. They've built over the years, and I think at this point in time, although it is still very much too early to predict Bayelsa State actually winning this National Sports Festival, but I think they started well, and with still a lot of medals to be won, I think they can go all the way to actually pull a surprise. But for me, it is not a surprise. I think I saw them coming. The consistency. If you were at the National Youth Games as well, you'd have seen some surprises as well as this last Niger Delta competition where they defeated Delta as well with just one gold medal on the final day. You could have seen that definitely Bayelsa State, they are all going all out at this National Sports Festival as well to show that definitely I think this is their time as well. So I'm not surprised.
Well, the Commissioner for Sports for Bayelsa State, Honorable Daniel Igali, did promise that Delta State was not here to make up the numbers. They were here to shake up the established order and prevent, Delta State's hegemony or hegemonic hold on the top spot. And I think they're not doing too badly so far. And those who are still saying, well, when swimming gets to the latter stages, athletics starts, we'll begin to, separate the boys from the men and the girls from the women as well. But so far, which competition have you been excited by so far? Athletics hasn't started. Swimming has been going on. Boxing has been going on as well. Beach volleyball, handball. So which sporting code have you been excited by in terms of performance and results?
All right, for me, I would say swimming. Swimming has been surprising for me. I've seen some excellent swimmers, like the lady from Ogun State, that won earlier today, 800 meters. That was about 16 laps to and fro. For me, I was shocked. Just 15 years old and, a teenager. And I think if she had probably shown up earlier, she would have been part of the invited junior athlete, fantastic talent. I believe you me, I was surprised. I was stunned. And I would say a lot of us, the media, onlookers were stunned with the performance. She won against stalwarts. I'm talking about, athletes that have been at the NSF not once, not twice, not three, not four times. And she went there, she gave her best. And she even won a bronze medal as well, I think, in the 100 meters. So for me, I'll say swimming for me has been exceptional. Although, there were a few hiccups earlier on before the game started. But since it commenced, it has been beautiful so far. And I believe there will still be more surprises as well. Do not forget as well that Team Ogun as well won another medal in the 100 meters. I think it came with a record as well, a record that has been standing for years. So I think for me, swimming has been a very, very surprising one for me. Some different athletes, swimmers doing the best they can. And the 15-year-old for me, I've still seen it again. I've been excited since earlier in the day when I saw this happen. I was like, wow, what was I doing when I was 15? So for me, it's interesting to see.
Well, maybe let's talk about the organization of the games so far. Multiple venues. The games village is almost kilometers. It's in another settlement. It's in Ilishan-Remo, far outside Abeokuta as well. How would you describe the organization of the game so far? Would you say it's been fantastic, seamless? How do you address that? Because we've heard multiple reports coming out of Ogun State about how the media center, for example, isn't of the highest quality or of the highest standard. It's too far away from the main venue as well, so it's a major issue as well. There's talks about accommodation for some of the journalists, which was hitherto announced. It has also been a bit chaotic as well. How would you describe the organization of the games?
I would say you're putting me on the spot at this point, but I would take it up. For me, I would say it can be better. Definitely, it can be better. You mentioned the media center, which is not even right inside the stadium, but outside the stadium. That's at the cultural center, but it's about, should I say, it's 2 minutes walk. So it's not far, very close. But when it comes to the other centers, the media center is a bit far from the other centers. You can't compare the cultural center right here in Abeokuta to Babcock University, where some games have been played and where the athletes are camped, or to Remo Star Stadium, where some games have been played as well. That's in Remo. Babcock, University is in Illusion as well. Some distance away from Remo as well. That's about 5-10 minutes drive away from Remo as well. So I would say the LOC or the MOC, basically, they've tried when it comes to preparations, arrangements, but I would say the completion of the road, which has not been fully sorted, has been a bit of issue for.
Sorry to cut you short there, Tobiloba. You said the completion of the road. I mean, I believe you're talking about stretch of road between Shagamu and Elisha Remo that's supposedly under construction, which is making transportation difficult. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That stretch. By the time you get to that stretch, you have to go on a lane, which is basically one way. You have oncoming and ongoing vehicles facing each other. I was there, the D-Day before the opening ceremony. I was at the Babcock. I was at Remo Stars as well. I was at Alake Sports Center. So I shuttled these 4 centers in a day. And believe you me, it is very possible, but it will take a bit of time, especially when night falls. Where that road gets very busy. I think I spent about 2 hours on the road.
2 hours?
A day. So yes, 2 hours. Now, that is because the road is yet to be fully completed and open. But believe you me, I think when the road is very open, it shouldn't be the trip shouldn't be more than 45 minutes, to 1 hour thereabouts. So I think that has been the major hiccup, with that. But when we spoke we had a media parley with the DG NSC earlier on, I think it was yesterday, and they spoke about alternative routes, that journalists, athletes can pass as well, that you bypass that route, which can also make the trip faster. I'm yet to take that route as I speak, but I believe it is possible.
Amen to that.
So I think that's just where there are little concerns when it comes to movement and arrangement. I believe the team has done their best at least at this moment.
Yeah, but just before we leave this topic, what about the issue of we hear that a lot of these states have also brought in professional athletes from outside the country to compete for many of these states. I know it's a lot of people have talked that that it's good for the festival because it gives it more color, more glamour, and more intensity because these are established international athletes. Where do you stand in this? Because there are those who are saying that the National Sports Festival should strictly be to unearth new talent that can move into the feed mill of athletic or sporting development and not bring the established ones back to come and compete in other sports that they've already. I mean, there are Olympians who are going to be competing at this game festival for some states. Where do you stand in all this?
So for me, I would say it's a dicey situation, but I think we can all get both positive and negative reactions to that. I would say for athletes coming up, facing Olympians or facing athletes that have seen it and done it all, outside the country, outside the shores of the country, I think it's more or less a motivation, to stand, play against people you see or you consider as role models, as leaders in your sport. And for me, it's not a big deal if you ask me. It's a challenge for upcoming athletes to do the best they can, beat, if you can't beat them, you join them. But at times, when you face off to these athletes that probably they're international already, they're representing the country, they've won medals on a global stage, it's a source of motivation for you to say, I can get here. This is a platform for me to get there. And it's a room for networking, it's a room for mentorship as well. You do not just, get to the global stage by jumping, you have to go through a process, and mixing up the established athletes with those coming up for me would give them added advantage on the long run. So I don't see it as a problem, but I see it as a challenge for the upcoming athletes as well to say that, yes, they can do this. Earlier on today, I saw a game between I forgot the name of the athlete, but he played against these very much established athletes who just came into the country not less than 24 hours ago, and we could see the quality of play, between both set of athletes. You could see the experience, you could see the skill. But at the end of the day, I spoke with the athlete based in Nigeria, and he said, yeah, it was a tough game for him, but he has learned a new thing. He has learned new skills. He has learned, some ways not to pick up the balls, and that's in tennis. So I think let's look at the positive aspects of these. What are the homegrown athletes as well? What are they doing? Are you just coming to learn, or are you coming to compete as well? There are times when I tell people that there are times when you don't compete with who you should be learning from. And there are times when you get to a stage where you feel that, okay, I think I've learned enough and it's time to compete.
Okay.
So I think there are positives we should pick from that angle as well. And that's what I'm standing at this point.
I totally agree with you. Baby Depo Popola, very well said. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. It's been fun talking to you. We're quite some rather interesting submissions as well. We'll be reaching out to you as well as this competition progresses. But thank you for coming through tonight on Game On.
Thanks so much for having me. I have a beautiful time as well.
Okay.
Bye.